This video is to show you how to actually execute the forces down a ramp lab. So the first thing, the first data point is at 0 degrees, and since I have, as we saw before, we have a C-clamp attached to the board, it's going to be really hard to lay it flat. So we're just going to weigh the fan cart on the scale while it's sitting on the table, and we'll use that as the 0 degree force. So our force, normal force, will be the way of the fan cart, and we're going to assume that if it was flat, there would be 0 force pulling on the string, because we're not going to really be able to set up a 0 degree angle. So that'll be an assumption. Every time you do read this before you set the fan cart on, you need to zero this, because it's going to change as we use angles. Now here's an example. All 4 wheels are on top of the scale. Don't let one of these wheels slide off now or when the string's tied on. It has to be this way or you'll get inaccurate measurements, and we need to be as careful as we can. It's going to be really important that this string be parallel and that our angle be as accurate as we can get it. So to make sure that string is parallel, measure the height right next to the scale and right next to the force probe. Those heights should be the same. If you need to, you can adjust the force probe up here. You notice I measured the angle with my iPad 3 different places. I'll go back and show that again. I measured it next to the ring stand, measured it in the middle, and measured it at the beginning. So you measure the angle here, here, and here, and that average, you should adjust it to where it matches the angle you're supposed to have according to your data table in your lab. Now you notice again, all 4 wheels of this cart are on top of the scale. Now so I get the angle set up, this is parallel, then I would just hit my green play button on my force probe for 4 or 5 seconds, stop it, find the mean, that's my force, this would be my FD, is this. I would, before I do that, I lift the cart off the scale, zero the scale, because as we change the angle, it changes to zero the scale. So zero the scale every time before you set the cart on top of it. Then you set it on top, and the only thing holding the cart on should be the string, and all 4 wheels should be on top. So then I hit my green button on my LabQuest, and I get my average force. And you're going to do this for 10 degrees, 20 degrees, and go all the way up. The upper degrees, as I said earlier, you're going to get something like this. It gets pretty steep. So it's hard for just one person to do this lab. But that's the basic execution. So you're going to be measuring 2 forces, the force into the board, which the scale will measure, and the force of the force probe. And again, if you don't re-zero, you're going to get bad data because the zero of the scale will change as the board goes higher and higher. Good luck.